Hello, kiddies. It's your old pal, John Kassir, the voice of the Crypt Keeper. And you're listening to Subfacts podcast with my good fiends, Matt and Mooney. Don't go away, kiddies, but be careful what you ask for. You may get it.
Hello and welcome to Subfacts. I'm your host, Matt. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mooney. What's up, Mooney?
How did you score that?
Is that insane or what?
That is awesome.
Yeah, so I went, the geek that I am.
You are a geek.
I went to the it's Monster Mania Con in Maryland this weekend, and you should have gone with me because Terrifier, everybody from Terrifier was there, like the guy, the Art the Clown, everybody. But I ran into the John Kassir, who does the Crypt Keeper.
That is insane.
And I was like, dude, I do a podcast. And so
you were like,
I asked him if he would come on the show, and he was like, I'd love to. Let's set it up.
Boom.
And I'm like, boom, we got it. But I don't know if he was just. I don't know if he was just being nice.
No, he loves us. I already know.
I like to think so too.
And he did the spot on. That was amazing.
Awesome, right? How cool was that? So we're set. We're big time now.
Huge.
And I'm not gonna lie, folks. You're gonna love this one because we're extra big time because we actually have guests in the studio that are like big time. Well, the guests we've had in the past are big time too, but I mean
not as big as this.
But this is big. This is big. And so we even have camera angles. We've never had camera angles before.
Hey man, we're audio video geniuses.
So before I hit the camera angle button,
okay,
I'm going to do an intro.
Okay.
So about a couple months ago, I went to the Tally Ho and saw an amazing Iron Maiden tribute band called EYES of the Nile.
You told me.
You know I did it. We talked about it. We talked about it on the show, all geeked up. And get this, our main man, Ben from K Street.
We talked about it?
I talked about it.
Okay, good.
I've been talking to everybody about it. You know, I've been on that whole Iron Maiden kick, as you know. And so
you got me on the Iron Maiden kick, so I know.
I know. So Ben from KStreetPhotographyDC.com
Boom.
was like, I put a picture on Facebook and he's like, dude, I know them. Those are my boys. How'd they do?
That's
and I'm like, awesome show. And then next thing you know,
gaps, the fruits, man.
Yeah. So Ben, like, he did the Brian position and jumped in and was like, hey, let's make this happen. And so lo and behold, we're making it happen.
So we have Iron Maiden.
No,
we have the Iron Maiden cover band. I got it. Okay, sorry.
We're going to get you into music eventually. But before I get
tribute band.
Before I get into this, I said I was going to say it. Happy birthday, Brian. Brian is not in with it. He's not
Happy
here.
Happy birthday, sir.
So our producer extraordinaire is doing whatever he does on his birthday, probably something bougie.
Yeah, he is bougie.
We'll hear about it next week. But with that being said, I'm going to hit the button and I'm going to show you our guest.
Awesome.
We have Chris and Fern from EYES of the Nile. Chris is the drummer, a.k.a. Clive or Nico, however you want to cover it.
Clicko,
that'll work. And then Fern is the Steve Harris bass, you know. And so thank you for showing up.
Thank you so much for having us.
It's exciting. We got
this is awesome.
Big time.
This is all pro.
Yeah. And so you know, they're seeing what a great setup we have.
We do. We have a killer setup. They're complimenting on your concerts.
I know. This is our year. This is our year of blowing up.
The year of Subfacts.
Yes.
Starting tonight.
Exactly. Well, we're already trying to get huge in Japan with our reactions.
And this is halfway there. This is going to get us more there.
We're bringing EYES of the Nile to Japan. That's what we're doing tonight.
Yes, please.
That's what we're doing.
Yes.
And so welcome. Thank you guys for showing up. So I've got a bunch of questions, and you can jump into whenever you...
I have some. I have, like, select ones. I know you're going to cover a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you, like,
I prefaced them. I told them ahead of time that you've heard 4 songs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So they know.
But I have questions. I like to get to know people, but you might cover it.
You can get to know. Okay, get to know. Well, I'll start off.
You know me. I talk to anyone, everywhere, anytime.
Okay. Well, one of the things, I want to make sure that I'm not screwing this up. Okay, so you guys are the premier Iron Maiden tribute band, and I've always heard, and this is for our listeners, what's the difference between a cover band and a tribute band? Is it like calling like a little person versus the derogatory thing? No, I'm curious to see about, like, I've always wondered, because, like, is a cover band, is it derogatory versus tribute, or is there a legitimate difference?
It's a legitimate difference.
Okay.
So you want to take it?
No, but I will. Or I'll take a stab at it. So my take is cover band is basically a band that'll play other songs that you've heard from other artists, whereas a tribute band actually captures the vibe of the show of that one band.
Of one band.
Of
One band. Okay, right. So if you go to see like the Reagan years, that's a cover band because they're playing multiple songs from different people.
You can probably say a tribute to the 80s.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
But
so if there's a theme, right?
Yeah, we both play in cover bands.
Oh, okay.
That play, in one night, there will be 40 different bands that we'll play songs from.
Oh, okay.
So that would be a cover band. But a tribute band is paying tribute to one band.
Okay. So there's nothing derogatory necessarily. No, I was worried about that. I was like, am I going to say the wrong thing?
Would have been fun to leave it there, though.
Yeah.
Well, get PC, huh? Nice.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not,
Now you know.
Because Captain PC over here, we're famous for, like, are we allowed to say this on the air?
I don't worry about that at all.
Yes. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's one thing I actually learned from you. This is Andy from Creative Underground.
Andy from creativeunderground.co.com.
There's one thing that I learned from you when we were going to this show, which really enlightened me about tribute bands, and I had never considered this, and this was a part of what made your show so great at the Tally Ho, was you said to me, when we went to go see Iron Maiden, you go see Iron Maiden, you know what you're going to get, you know which songs you're probably going to get to hear. You said to me and I've been trying to catch you guys for quite a while. When you come up at the Tally Ho, it shows up in my Facebook feed. You're going to play, and it always just lined up badly with something else going on in my life. This one worked out. And when we were talking about it, Matt said, these are guys that love the band too. So they love the band just as much as you do, which is very different from a cover band. They're just playing songs usually to make some money. You guys are playing the songs because you love the band, and you're playing songs that you love, and you're playing deep cuts. And that was when you got me. I'm going to get to hear all the songs that I never get to hear Iron Maiden play. That's a big deal.
We're going to get to that because I do have set list questions. Well, we might as well bring it up now. So when it comes to, like, and keep in mind, my tribute band knowledge is not that great. And I've seen a couple, and
at least it's appropriate ringtone.
Is that Steve? Is that Steve or Bruce?
That's Bruce.
Oh, okay.
But let me. I apologize. I turned my alarms off.
Sure. No, it's all good.
Sorry. Setlist questions.
Yes.
Wasn't Britney Spears though.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's very appropriate.
So, when it comes, who does the set? Who creates the set list? Is it a group effort? You all do. Okay. So, what I've noticed, I've been to a couple tribute bands, and a lot of times for like the casual listener, they go and they want to hear obviously the big hits. But then I've noticed that a lot of the tribute bands will go, to Andy's point, do the deep cuts. And like for me with you guys, I loved every bit of it. But like if you're a casual listener, you're kind of like, I don't really know that. How much of that goes into play when you guys are coming up with a set list? Is it like, do you have to play Hallowed Be Thy Name, or do you have to play, or you just play what you want to play?
Exactly what you said. I mean, you have to play the hits.
Yeah.
But then it's like, what determines the hits? Because a lot of it is, songs that we consider, you have to play the song. Some people might not consider, like, just say something like Flash of the Blade. Like that could be considered a deep cut to a lot of people, but to us, it's not at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's like, we got to play this song.
Yeah.
But I mean, then you have Run to the Hills, you have Hallowed Be Thy Name, you got Number of the Beast. I mean, those are like, you have to play those no matter what. So yeah, it's a balancing act for every single gig. It's like, when's the last time you were at that venue?
Yeah.
You want to do something new, just in case a lot of the same people happen to be there. Play the hits, play, maybe the B hits, maybe the real deep cuts, like this medley that we do, the instrumental thing. I mean, like, that is probably the deepest thing that we do.
Yeah, you should definitely give credit to that. You guys put it out on YouTube. It's Transylvania and Genghis Khan mixed, right? And it's fantastic. Yeah. It's really cool.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, but
So
that was, we never knew what to expect. It was just something that we really just wanted to do for ourselves. And, of course it gives Naveed a break, which is always great. But, and every time we've done it, we've gotten such a great response. Like, it's like, how could we not keep doing this?
Oh yeah.
And it's so fun to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry?
Whose basement did you record?
Oh, that's mine.
Drum sound is.
Thank you.
How many?
Well, it was mixed by one of our guitarists, Daniel Tidwell. He mixed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many songs do you aim to play in a night? Like 15, 20, or is it?
17 is usually the number.
It's usually
Oh,
around
17?
there, and then we'll play some
Okay.
encores.
Every once in a while, we'll have to fudge it if there's a couple of longer songs, so there's kind of a target time, but 17-ish is the number we usually go for.
Okay, one of my questions before I got, and that's why I was happy you covered the tribute versus cover. I don't know if Iron Maiden does this, but at a lot of concerts I've been to, the band playing will play a cover song, right? Do you ever do a cover song?
So a tribute
that's
band
not-
playing a cover,
Yeah,
like another band's song.
yeah, like another band, like say another hard rock band, metal band, or whatever.
I thought about that once, but I think I was quickly turned down.
Oh, okay,
Iron
cool.
Maiden's done covers.
So that's
Yeah.
an
So,
interesting
in
question.
theory-
Have they played them live though?
I
They're usually like B-sides.
Yeah, I was gonna say another B-sides. I don't know if they're live, but could you guys get away with it? The Iron Maiden version of that cover? Maybe
They would be some that I would like to do for sure, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we'd ever agree on one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
well, there's
I think I
that.
got some wheels spinning with that question.
Look at
You
you.
really
You're
did. You
you're
really
gonna be
did.
like you're gonna be an extra member of the band pretty soon by the end of this show.
Yeah.
And Cross-eyed Mary comes to mind.
Yeah,
There you
to
go.
me, yeah.
there you go.
What are your followers called? Like Nihilites or like?
He's good at naming fan clubs.
Nihilites.
We've got the factoid,
Yeah,
and so
that's awesome.
so
We do now.
I don't know. There you go.
We have our first one right here.
Yes.
So I know I requested Alexander the Great, and it's only honestly I did it as a joke because of the fact that the band Iron Maiden themselves have not ever played it live. And so the rumor is that they're going to play it on this Future Past tour this summer. Whether they do or not, that's up to them. But I was like, you guys could completely stump them and just do it preemptively.
It's interesting because of the fact that we've been talking about the Somewhere in Time thing. As you remember, we opened up with Somewhere in Time this past gig, and we also have been doing Stranger in a Strange Land and Deja Vu. So we're almost
You're
to
almost at
completion.
that level, yeah.
We're almost to completion with Somewhere in Time. So we started doing that, I think, just before they'd announced that they were going to do the Somewhere in Time thing. So we weren't trying to get a jump on anything. We just thought, well, they haven't done it. Let's give it a go because we love that album.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, Future Past tour.
Yeah.
So if we do Alexander the Great, first of all, we would do the entire thing, do the studio version. But as for when, I mean, I think it's still up for discussion, right? So.
Yeah, it's always hard to pick a new song.
Yeah.
And like why we would want to do it. And we never think about, oh, well, Maiden, they might play it, so we have to beat them to it. I don't know if we ever really think like that. We have to really want to do it.
Yeah.
All of us.
I think that it's, at least for me, and I don't want to speak for everybody, but at least for me, I think of, well, what's the Maiden show I would want to see as a fan? Because fan first. And that's the whole thing. It's a shared fan experience.
Yeah, and I will say that's the one thing I mentioned on the show the week after I saw you guys. What I loved was the experience of going in and you guys didn't do anything like I expected, everybody to come out with like the 80s long hair, spandex, and all the works, because that's what you see. Like you see Kiss tribute bands and Motley Crue tribute bands and stuff, and you guys came out regular dudes, but just owned it, and it just seemed like it was a fun experience for everybody in the crowd who just enjoyed the same music, and it definitely was fantastic. But you can tell that you guys are fans first, and that
I think we pride ourselves on that we don't think about the clothes or the image or anything. Not that Maiden really had an image, but you could try to look like them. I don't know why you would bother, honestly, but I think if you don't worry about that at all and you over exceed people's expectations, if that is in proper English, I don't know, but then I think you're just gonna satisfy people a lot more, because they're just gonna be like, there's a bunch of normal dudes up there, but oh my God, they're producing this sound and it sounds like Maiden or something like that.
I think the closest thing we come to is the stage show, and then the fact that I do the Steve Harris thing, which
yeah,
production is always
production
good.
is really
But
that's
looking
really
like
focus.
them is, I think.
yeah. And if you guys need two fat guys to be Eddie if you guys do Iron Maiden, we'll volunteer.
All right. You're on the list.
Oh,
You just curious, like you guys mentioned like fan experience. So is there like a well-known like best concert Iron Maiden ever played that you guys have done song for song or like set for set, like just completely mimicked it?
like Live After Death.
We did Live After Death.
Oh.
We did
Okay.
top to bottom, like
Oh,
the
okay.
album
Really?
version, I think.
No,
Yeah.
I mean like a show, like a concert, like in a well-known concert.
Yeah,
that
no.
if you guys-
Live After Death is probably the
Oh.
most well-known.
It was the first live out. Well,
live album. Sorry. When you said album, it threw me off.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no.
Okay.
It's basically the epitome of their live back in the day.
See,
Power Slave.
Yeah, because I think the song order or song selection is different from the CD, from the actual album.
Okay.
In like the order or something. But yeah, we did, I don't know, 7 years ago or so, we did at Metro Gallery in Baltimore. We played it from top to
Sweet.
bottom.
That would be a cool show.
We've done all of Number of the Beast as well. And hopefully another one soon.
So when you get, and I'll go into like the backgrounds and stuff, but I since we're talking like set lists and stuff, I told you guys before the show that I'm like the newer person. So when I got into Iron Maiden, I was basically gifted 17 albums instead of getting the first one and then waiting a couple years and all of that good stuff. So I found that for me, I love all of it, even the Blaze stuff. I'm okay with the Blaze stuff. But I always go back to the Bruce reunion stuff. So Brave New World on, and I will say like Dance of Death is one that is my favorite of the reunion stuff. Do you guys play anything that's beyond the Brave New World and beyond, or do you guys try to stick within the earlier stuff?
We sprinkle in a couple new things.
Yeah,
we got one from Brave New World, and we have one from the latest one, Sujutsu.
Okay, cool.
We have a Blaze song too.
And we have a Blaze song.
Really? Which Blaze song? I'm just out of here.
Klansman.
Oh, okay. The Klansman's awesome. I was waiting for like Future Real or something, and I'm like, babe, you wanna,
I gotta say though, as a my first love being Iron Maiden, getting into rock music and metal, you hit every song and every album that I would have wanted to hear a song from at the Tally Ho.
That's hard to do. I mean, thank you.
And just to go back to the one point a second ago about, coming out on stage and looking like the band, as a fan of the band, what makes a bigger difference, and I say this as a fellow musician, was the meticulousness with which you play the songs. That is how it comes across, not just that you love the band because of the energy that you bring, but how you've studied the songs. When I hear a band play, and, drums especially, and the fact that you're playing with your fingers, everything that you're doing is exactly how it is on the album. And I'm noticing like little things where I'm like, if that wasn't there, if that kick wasn't just as Nico does it, I'm gonna be pissed. And then you do it, I'm like, these guys are on it. Like, you guys study the songs.
But I think even for myself, I'm assuming Fern, I'm not going to speak for him, but if I would rather see a band that does the same. Like if they look exactly like Motley Crue but sound like crap, I'm gonna leave like disgusted. Right. I don't care about the image as much as I care about the music. But if it's both of those things, then I don't care if they dress up and look like them. It's great. It doesn't bother me at all. But if they're not playing well, it just ruins it for you.
I agree. Music first.
Yeah, music first.
So I read on, I went to your website and I was looking at a lot of the accolades that you guys have. Everyone is always,
You did homework, sir?
of course.
That's awesome.
Our Grammys,
It's mark it on the calendar, folks.
What Andy was just saying was, he appreciated all the attention to detail. One of my questions before I even got here was, how do you go about accomplishing that? Like, how did you guys go and make sure you do the kick right? Or how does Naveed make sure he sounds like Bruce Dickinson? Like, how do you make sure
Is there a
drums...
stickler in the band for the note, like note
All
for
of
note?
us.
Actually, all of us.
Oh, okay.
But how do you get to that? Is it just a lot of, training, not training, but like practice and watching videos or...
Listening?
All of the above.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything. Listening. If there's something that it's hard to hear, you might, try to watch a video or get a transcription or something. But usually, for me, it's just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to live in the day and age we live in now.
Oh, yeah.
Because if
Everything's-
I tried to do this back in like 88, when I first got into him, all I had was the Live After That VHS to watch.
Right.
I didn't have the internet with all these, random videos from fans and whatever.
You can pause and rewind 10
Exactly.
seconds or 5 seconds, right?
Zoom in to see what the fingers are doing.
Yeah.
Because had I not known any better, I'd have been playing with 3 fingers as Steve Harris. He only uses 2.
Yeah.
wow.
And that's a common topic. So things like that.
That's an awesome
And I'm going to give a little plug. I don't know if you guys have seen him, but on YouTube, there's a guy who does Licks of the Beast, and he basically like breaks down, guitar wise.
Licks of the
I
Beast
don't
is
play anything,
awesome
but I'm
title.
fascinated by the whole thing too, because he breaks down like the theory behind like the different notes and whatnot. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, YouTube is a dangerous place, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of frauds.
There's a lot,
There's
Oh,
a lot of false information.
is that one that I'm
musically? No.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was
no,
gonna
no,
s-
no, no.
Oh,
No, he's great. But sometimes you have to, take it with a grain of salt.
Mm-hmm.
You might find what you're looking for, but sometimes it's hard to find.
There you go. So
he's the rabbit hole king, so don't.
So one of the things I think that drew me to Iron Maiden was I love music. I listen to all different styles of music and whatnot, but and I've tried to play the guitar many a time. Now they're hanging on my walls. And the last venture was trying to play the bass. And so the one thing that I noticed is a lot of the music that I listen to, I just don't have the ear. I've never heard the bass in a song, and unless it stands out like Money from Pink Floyd or anything Queen, that kind of thing. And so when I heard Iron Maiden, it's like that's the first thing you hear. And obviously now, like in hindsight, it's because Steve Harris is the leader of the band, and of course that's his instrument. So for me, he sounds like he's the greatest bass player of all time. Would I be an idiot for saying that? Like, not of all time, but I mean, like in heavy metal, the greatest bass player. Or am I going to look like an idiot?
No, I don't think you'd look like an idiot at all. I think it's more a matter of there's a certain level of influence there, right? Are there others that maybe play differently technically that others might consider better? Sure. Right.
Yeah.
But there is a huge influence that he has with the way he did it and when he did it, right? Back in 80 to come out playing the way he did and driving the songs the way he did and playing with such a unique physical style on the bass the way he did. There's something to be said for that. So to say that he's the greatest of all time, I wouldn't look at you sideways for that.
Yeah, so like he could sit at the table.
Oh,
of
absolutely.
that group. Okay, cool.
And others that do would likely agree.
Awesome. I just want to make sure, and likewise, the same on the drum side. I know there's, Clive and Nico. Like, which one out of the two, if you had to choose, which one, or who's the better out of the two?
Oh man, it's apples and oranges.
Just because one has a catalog that's much bigger because of.
Well, unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think their styles are completely different. I can tell you which songs I prefer to play, like which drummer I prefer to play. That's Clive by a mile. But they're just different drummers. Nico is more of a jazz drummer, and he improvises a lot more. It actually makes it harder to kind of copy what he does. So, but Clive, I always compare his drum parts to Neil Peart. Neil Peart. It was like a composition. You never changed a note of what he played. And I kind of feel like that with Clive a lot, that what he played was perfect. I wouldn't want to change a thing. So I just prefer Clive's stuff. He was amazing for so many reasons, but nothing against Nico. I mean, he's incredible too.
Because I always hear about, once again, YouTube knowledge and still new to this. I'm like, I always hear Nico's got the greatest right foot ever. And
it's one of the greatest. Yeah, I was going to say his right foot and Clive's hands.
Okay.
Clive's hands are like magical. And Clive's right foot is just incredible.
So the two of if you could do that switch, you got a perfect drummer.
Exactly.
Okay. Yep. There you go. Look at there you go. Boom.
The other thing I've always loved about Nico, which is unique to Nico compared to Clive, is what he does with the ride cymbal. Yeah, the nose for sure. But what he does on the ride cymbal, it's out of context for metal at that time.
Yep. Yeah, he has those like little extra beats on there.
Yeah, I can't think of any band prior to Maiden that were doing that.
Yeah, maybe not.
And I think he was the first person I ever heard.
Neil Peart did in Rush, but
in Rush, yeah.
Speaking of metal, maybe not.
Yeah,
but now it's done all the time.
Yeah,
but yeah.
And so now we're going to go out of turn. We're going to, since we just started talking, it's casual. This show's casual as it is. We didn't even talk about how you guys even got started. Like, how does the whole, like, how do you, like, you started the band, if I'm correct, Chris? Or
Me and Naveed,
okay.
technically. Yeah.
And so how did you just say, you know what, I'm going to do an Iron Maiden band, or how does that happen?
So my friend who I play in a cover band with,
Mm-hmm.
a cover band, he sent me a
non-offensive cover band.
You're not the cover band.
You're not. I'll try to keep this short. Yep. He sent me a Craigslist ad of this guy who was looking to form an Iron Maiden tribute band.
Mm-hmm.
And like Bruce era, I think it said something like that. And I'm thinking, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But if he does, he must be really good. So anyway, I start communicating with this guy through email, and you don't know who it is because the Craigslist address, you know, it's just like a jumbled bunch of letters.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going back and forth, not knowing who we are. And he sends me, he didn't have any audio of any like Maiden stuff at all. He's like, I don't have anything of Maiden, but I'll send you something.
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes later, I get the chorus of Flight of Icarus from his cell phone on a text message or through email. And it was unbelievable. I was like, oh my God, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the beginning. We went back and forth a little bit more and then realized that he knew the cover band that I was playing with. And he told me who he was at the time. And I was like, I know you. He knows me. Like we've met before.
Oh, wow. Small world.
In like at concerts and probably Dream Theater concerts or something. And so he came over and that's when it started. We just...
Who came up with the name? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
Because I know it's from Revelations, but...
I honestly don't know. It was originally Seventh Sons. Mm-hmm. And I remember that I picked that one, but there was another band that seemed like they were inactive that had that name, and I think we didn't want a chance using it. And then someone said, oh, actually at one time it was Prophets of Disaster. And I was like, no, that's kind of, evil sounding.
Yeah.
So, and then Eyes of the Nile. I don't honestly.
I like it. Out of the three you mentioned, I love that name the best.
You know what's funny is Andy and I went to see Iron Maiden in October, and I had heard of you guys, but I didn't, because I look at the Tally Ho stuff and I knew you guys had played, so I knew that you were an Iron Maiden tribute band, but I didn't know the song or anything like that. And they played Revelations, and I hear Bruce mention Eyes of the Nile, and I'm like, I wonder if those guys are in the crowd and are they giggling to themselves at this point because he just said Eyes of the Nile, and I'm like, because I would be if there was Subfacts in a Iron Maiden song, I would be giggling like.
Can you email Bruce and see if he puts it in?
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Well, the funny thing, speaking of Bruce real fast, have you seen his talking show?
No,
because there was video.
I read his book though.
Yeah. He has a couple. There's a video of him doing the talking show somewhere. I forget which one this was. It wasn't DC, but he's going through the questions. Mm-hmm. He gets all these questions that you could, put in a box before the show or something. And it said, can you play Alexander the Great? Mm-hmm. And I think he just said no. Flung it. So who knows?
That's awesome.
Anyway.
But you went to that, Andy. I think the Bruce talking show.
Yeah, I went to the talking show.
Yeah, I did. Like, I read the book. It was the any
don't
button.
Press this
yeah,
button.
Don't press this button. I thought it was really cool.
My big takeaway from the Bruce show, from the talking show, was that guy does not need a PA. This was I think Warner Theater downtown. Yeah. Our seats were like on the upper level balcony towards the back. He projected all the way to the back of the room, a cappella, no music. Yeah. And I forget which song they requested he sing, but my gosh, that guy is so loud.
He usually does something at the very end.
Yeah, he's loud.
But the pictures that they put up were unbelievable. There were a lot of like rare shots of them back in the day with Clive, and I was taking pictures of the pitchers.
Oh, wow.
And some of the stories were pretty hilarious as well. Some of the insights he shares about
Nico.
like, when they're recording the albums and things that I never knew about. See, I only thought that Bruce was the pilot, but he was actually inspired to fly because of, I think, Nico.
I think so too.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
the
right.
original pilot that was flying him. I mean, a lot of little insights he shared on that speaking tour that were pretty fascinating to Maiden fans, I think.
Yeah. Him and I get, we're a lot alike. We're Renaissance men, I like to think. I haven't taken up fencing yet, but
It's on the bucket list.
it's definitely on the list. Once I get this podcast thing figured out, once we blow up, then I'll take up fencing.
Don't press that button.
This is the year.
Exactly.
Exactly. This is the year. Well, I have a very important question before we go any further. This is probably the most important question of the night. What are your favorite pizza toppings?
Pizza toppings.
Because if they say I don't like
This is
pizza, then you got to kick them out of the show. Don't do it. We still have time.
I don't eat pizza. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, actually,
Oh, you don't eat pizza?
anymore. I'm a Staten Islander. I love and live for pizza.
Yeah.
To answer the question, mushroom, extra cheese,
Okay.
possibly pepperoni. But April 20th, actually tomorrow, is the year anniversary. I gone keto/carnivore. So I dropped everything, all sugar and mostly
Gonna
carbs.
eat you if you're not careful.
So,
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
Wow.
Starting the Bugs Bunny.
All keto carnivore.
Yeah. I love everything still. I haven't eaten it. But to answer the question, extra cheese, mushrooms, pepperoni.
Awesome.
Boom.
I don't know if I can answer this question. It's like the hardest question ever.
You're a
I like-
foodie, though, and you're a cook.
Should we defer to Stallone? Like we can.
Eggs. I like eggs. Raw eggs on my pizza.
If you know anything about this show, it's either Stallone or pizza.
I love just a regular margarita.
Oh, nice.
Nothing.
Okay.
Or but I like barbecue chicken. Like
That's good
Magino's
too.
does a great
Solid.
Yeah, like anything. Honestly, all pizza's good.
See, awesome answers.
There you go. Boom. That was the Mooney segment, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't
hungry
know
now.
these
No,
things.
no,
We
no.
all want to get to know the
Oh, no,
people.
I know. And I was about to ask. I was going to bring it back.
Bring
Okay.
it back.
Out of everybody in the band, who is the biggest Iron Maiden geek? Like, who's the biggest, like the one that like sees everything Iron Maiden and does everything?
I feel like we're kind of equal in that sense.
Because
as
they're
well,
like Kiss when it comes to
but-
merchandising. So from a collectible standpoint,
Oh.
I'm gonna say that our guitarists, since they're younger, only they might not have as much experience with Maiden.
Yeah, because they were like Brave New World and Up when they came into it, right? Or at least, I think Daniel said Live After Death was his first, but around that time is when he got into them. And then Jason was a child of the internet, right? So
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas the rest of us, like Naveed, Deech, and I got into it like them before I did. I didn't get into it until like 87, 88, and they've been into it since the early 80s.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I was more of a geek back then, growing up listening to them in the early mid 80s. I mean, it was all Iron Maiden. There was nothing
like
else.
if Funkos were around back then, you'd be like,
If what?
like Funko Pops, those dolls,
bobblehead looking things.
those bobblehead things. Like
Yeah.
if those were around, you'd be like, that's what I want.
No, I had the posters and the pages of the magazines and my whole
Circus magazine.
circus, Hit Parade,
Metal Hammer, Rip,
Kerrang,
yeah.
Awesome.
all over the walls and ceiling.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So
That didn't answer your question, but there you go.
well, kind of did.
Yeah, it did.
So then, kind of the collection type of thing. I'm a big fan of collectibles for whatever reason. What is the most, I guess, the Iron Maiden thing that you own that is personally your favorite thing to own?
Holy Grail item.
Like your holy grail, like that you currently have, and if you want to say what you would like to have eventually.
Mine is a used Nico stick that I caught at the Somewhere Back on tour at
Wow.
Merriweather. Yeah.
Awesome.
Girl next to me was like, I'm going to catch a drumstick. I'm like, if he throws a drumstick our way, I will
I'm
catch
fighting
it.
you for it.
Yes, I will catch it, trust me. And he threw a drumstick out, and it was just whoop, like
Yeah.
a magnet.
It's like there's no chivalry here.
No.
I'm,
No. Even if she did catch it, I probably would rip it out of her hand.
It's okay.
Wow.
I saw.
I would-
right.
I would
I actually
not do
went to a show with a guy once who literally wrestled like a 12-year-old kid for a drumstick, and it was at a Moby concert. I'm like, really?
Oh my god!
I was like, really, dude?
Why?
And so, hey, why not?
Okay,
And
I mean,
but hey, I would do the same thing. Who am I kidding? So, yeah.
I mean, for me, I have a lot of T-shirts. So when it comes to bands, I think that's kind of where I point to. And I do have 2 T-shirts. I have an Iron Maiden Somewhere in Time tie-dye T-shirt, which I hadn't realized is apparently worth like hundreds of dollars.
There's a Facebook page for that stuff, and
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
They don't have fat sizes, so I can't participate.
Right.
So, you know.
I'd had it, and most of my T-shirts I've had, or a lot of my T-shirts I've had since the 80s. So, but the Iron Maiden tie-dye Somewhere in Time shirt, and I have an Aces High shirt that's got camo sleeves and is beige. That is kind of, I wear it and I shouldn't, but it's a holy grail item to me as well.
Yeah.
And my Somewhere in Time tour sheet T-shirt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
On the topic of T-shirts, I got to ask, who does your artwork? Because I was blown away, and Matt will tell you, I love to buy T-shirts when I go to a concert just because that's my way of helping put gas in the tank for a band to get to the next city.
Sure, thank you.
But in your case, I also felt compelled. I'm like, that's a great looking shirt. Like, you guys have someone, I assume, that's able to like draw an Eddie, design that looks on point.
That's all Jason.
Really?
Jason Hurley. Yep. Our guitarist.
Brilliant,
One of our guitarists.
brilliant artist.
He has to make one in fat. Can we get one in fat? Because
he doesn't sew them though, Matt. He's doing
I'm
the
just saying,
artwork.
He's not constructing them from
seamstress.
the.
we were both at the merch tent, and one of us couldn't participate. That's all I'm saying. And
We'll
so,
have to have the extra XL.
yes, I was like, could we get the fat version?
Got it. Noted.
Thank you, Ben from K Street Photography DC.
Ben from Case.
I know.
Give it up. We're getting big this year.
I don't think that came out over the air, so we're good.
I do want to give credit to Daniel in the art department because he designed the bass drum head. Yeah, we kind of, did the concept together, but he did the design.
Did he do the stage as well, or how did? Because that's cool too. You've got the whole Power Slave stuff.
I looked at a lot of images and tried to figure out what would look the best, and we had a lot of choices to narrow down to. A lot of Egyptian kind of things and different kinds of walls, and we all just sat down and looked at all the images that I got from Adobe something or other, and we narrowed it down to those. And Jason also did designed the banner, but a friend of mine that I play in a cover band with, his company actually produced the final product. All those stage props and everything.
Yeah, it was
except
good.
for the Anubises.
Really cool.
Thanks.
And Anubises is the
Anubi.
Yeah.
Are those the sarcophaguses?
The
I can't talk.
statue, yeah.
Those demigods guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're called Anubis?
Anubis.
Anubis.
See, we're learning. We're learning on the
it.
show.
Yeah. Anubi.
I'm going to change my middle name legally to Anubis.
It would be awesome.
Amubis.
Matt Anubis. We did a he's good at nicknames. We did a show when Top Gun, the new one, came out with all the different call signs.
Yeah.
And he's immediately giving everybody call signs. I think I was call sign Jingle or something. You were call sign. He's like, and I'm Rhino. And I'm like, okay.
That is awesome.
So,
Now it's Nubis.
yes, now it's Anubis.
Yes.
Is there a favorite venue you guys have that you love to play?
Gosh.
I would say Tally Ho is
Tally Ho.
probably because that's kind of turned into our home,
Okay.
our home base. So,
And you'll play there, twice a year?
it's been twice a year.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. We probably played there about 7 times now.
Oh, wow. And how long and when was your first concert?
Well, I can tell you, 2005.
Oh, wow.
No, sorry,
15.
15.
Okay.
And it was at Fat Tuesdays in Fairfax.
I remember that place.
It's still there.
I went to GMU. It was right over there.
Oh, yeah. It's still that.
I live right down the street.
Oh, wow.
So it was like the quickest drive
Mm-hmm.
to the venue, and the stage is so narrow that we all had to stand next to each other. Like there was no front to back or anything. It was just like we were.
That had to be
in a line.
awkward.
Even the drums were like drums.
How did
guitar,
Naveed handle that? Because he moves around all the time.
I don't know. It's actually a wonder that he didn't die that night.
I don't know how
Because-
he has the energy.
I don't either.
He's
Probably the first gig. Maybe it was a little bit more laid back then.
Oh, okay, because very similar to Bruce, he's all over the place, and I was tired and I didn't do anything. I
know.
was just, you know,
I don't know how he does it, especially having to sing that stuff at the same time. You know, it would be hard enough to just stand in one spot and sing all that. Never mind running around and jumping up and down, and then trying to sing it. I mean, he's from another planet. Yeah,
they're not going to hear it, but how bad do you guys hate the Iron Maidens? They get all the press from the tribute bands, and yet they do like Wacken and stuff. And I'm like, you guys should be doing Wacken.
I personally don't hate them at all. I think they're.
I'm just jealous. It's more jealous hate.
Oh,
like, trust me,
so much.
I understand. Like Nita Strauss and everybody came from them, and like they're talented, but
gifted for sure.
But I'm sitting there going, like, if I had the choice to see them or you guys at the,
Everyone has said the same thing.
yeah,
Everybody I talked to has said the exact same thing. Like they're just okay. They're good enough,
yeah,
you know, but they play so much, and that's why they've gotten so popular. I mean, they play everywhere. They just opened for Accept on a tour in Europe.
yeah,
And, you know, all the power to them, you know, for being able to do that, like pretty much full time. But that's what we need to be doing, is playing a hell of a lot more.
yeah,
Sure.
because you guys, I went, you know, with my whole like rabbit hole. It's like I've exhausted the Iron Maiden stuff, so now I'm like, okay, let me see the tributes. And you guys, in fairness, were the first that I saw. But then I figured, okay, well, you guys are great. Let me see who else is out there. And you guys stand out.
We're way better looking too.
Exactly.
That's why the camera's here.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's where the Iron Maidens kind of have you beat.
Oh,
but
God.
I mean,
No, that's what I meant. We're way better looking than they.
wow. So
I kid.
yeah, but no. But what I'm saying, like, you guys, like, I thought it was a crime because I'm like going through YouTube and I see like Iron Maidens at Wacken, and I'm like, why is Eyes of the Nile? We're getting press passes to Wacken. We talked about it last week.
Wow, awesome.
We're not really, but we're going to try. But when we do,
You do.
I'm going to talk to somebody on your behalf, because
Wow.
I'm going to be like, look,
Thank you.
you guys screwed up by getting them when you guys could have had Eyes of the Nile.
It happens a lot. I mean, with, you know, smaller type of shows, and they're always playing places that we want to play, and you know, it's so much harder to get some gigs because of that, honestly. You know, because they just played there,
Yeah.
or they're going to be the ones that venue always wants. So it's like, why have another one? So
Yeah, that part sucks.
it does.
Who do I have to write? I'm gonna. Well,
Yeah,
we're
have
gonna
all
put
the
a
names.
campaign.
I was going to say,
I have a spreadsheet.
Okay, good.
I'll
Because
stand out with like signs and be like,
we're gonna campaign for you guys instead of Iron Maidens.
Sweet.
But anyways,
yeah, we'll never enter Iron Maidens.
I do love Nita Strauss though, but she's not with
She's
them anymore.
really nice.
She's not with them anymore. Did you meet her?
Yeah, I met her at NAMM. She was super nice. And
Oh,
I told her
awesome.
I was an Iron Maiden tribute band, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Was it when she did the I think she did a cover of the Trooper. She did the Trooper with Courtney Cox at the same time. That it's like an old YouTube video. I don't know.
I've seen that one. And
Yeah.
where they were demoing Boss stuff.
Yeah.
as well, I think. Yeah.
I met her at the convention at her booth,
Oh, okay.
and she was, you know, doing autographs and all that stuff. But then she played the House of Blues with Metal Allegiance, which is Mike Portnoy, and then a whole other smorgasbord of metal dudes.
Yeah.
And she came out and they did something like a Maiden tune,
Oh, okay.
Killers or something.
I just saw the Winery Dogs at Tally Ho with Portnoy.
Well, did you know that Naveed's band, his original band, Iris Divine, who, if you haven't heard yet, you got to listen to them. They're prog metal.
Oh, well,
Lack
definitely
of a
check
better
it out.
term. They opened up for Winery Dogs at Ram's Head.
Oh, really?
cool.
So we missed, like, yeah, because there was I'm not going to trash the band that opened up for them because they were actually pretty decent.
This
I don't
wasn't at
remember-
Tally Ho.
Yeah, I was just saying I don't remember who it was at the Tally Ho. They were actually pretty decent, but that would have been cool.
Yeah.
And they killed it. Naveed plays guitar and sings in that band.
Okay.
Yeah, and they absolutely crushed it.
And what are they called again?
Iris Divine.
Okay.
Iris
Folks,
Divine.
Iris Divine. Check it out.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I also have to ask.
Has he ever done a double show like Iris Divine? Then you.
No,
We've talked
no.
about it, but I don't know if we should.
Yeah,
with the way he is on stage, it'd
Exactly.
probably
He couldn't
kill
do
him. I would be worried for him.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yeah, he's like like you've seen Bruce in the videos.
Oh, so he does the same thing.
There's a lot of theatrics.
He explained it to me once. Why does Bruce love to like stand on the top of like everything
when he theatrical? It's dramatic. It's theatrical.
Yeah, it's part of the show.
Okay.
I told him because Bruce tells the story about Steve liking to run around and how he would trip Steve. So it was more fighting, and so because they're both sharing the stage, Bruce, I think, spends a lot of time up there
away from him
to kind of,
yeah. I'm going to need to build some sort of platform because I think it's the same exact story. Only we love that we are both the same way, but I'm always so worried about tripping Naveed, always. And
I always watch video back, and there's so many moments where there's almost a collision because Naveed's just bopping and bouncing all over the place, and he's trying to get out of his way.
When we see you at the Tally Ho, we're going to look for it now. Like
that's a big enough stage, at least where there's more room, but it'll definitely happen at least once.
Yeah. And so I have one more, unless you guys have. I know I'm hogging the show because it's.
I'm good. I got. Ask the question. I'm gonna result to my list here.
Well, what if I ask
best
your
hamburger.
question? Oh yeah, best fast food restaurant.
Oh, I gotta have eggs on my burger. Got to.
And so I could do this all night, but the real band. Have you guys ever met any of them? And if you could meet them, what would you say?
Well, I've never met them. And if I could meet them, I would first and foremost say thank you. I'd have to think about what else to say that I wouldn't sound foolish, of course, because I'm a fan. I
love your like is there like a Steve Harris? How did you do this, or what did you come up?
I mean, I should have been more prepared to answer that question because it's something that I've thought about and then not thought about, and
Want to think about it while I answer?
Maybe I'll think about it while you answer. Yeah. Go ahead and order now, and I'll fetch the menu here and see.
Barbecue chicken, pizza.
Yeah, there you go.
So I met Bruce I'll start with Nico because it's not as exciting. I got backstage, a friend of mine, this was No Prayer for the Dying tour, and my friend wrote for a local magazine. He got me a lanyard, and I got backstage. And it was a room full of people, and Nico was like right in the middle of everybody. And I just kind of started wiggling my way in. And he signed my denim jacket, and I asked him how he played the beginning of Tail Gunner. Because I was I'm a drummer, and I was like 15 years old, and I had to ask him a drum question. He's like, oh, yeah, no, some kind of paradiddle thing, and blah, 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 blah. Like, all right, awesome. And that was that. Bruce was when he was on his Tattooed Millionaire tour, and he came to a place in Rhode Island called the Living Room, and me and a friend of mine went early, like sound check early, and we're in the lobby of the venue, and you could hear him finish the sound check, and he walks out, and he's just right there. Awesome. And he signed something, maybe the same denim jacket. I don't know. But my friend took a picture of us without us knowing, so it's very candid.
Oh, I would have it on
me and my
T-shirts,
mullet, and
like for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I have it on my wall at home.
Okay,
that's nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I said, you don't know me, but my name's Chris. How was sound check? All right, it was all right. I don't know. Yeah. And that was the end of it.
He's like, I know you, man. You're Chris.
Yeah, right. You have a future, man.
That's like I met Justin from Blue October, and it was kind of funny. My wife and I were walking outside of Ram's Head, and he just happened to be walking by, and we had tickets to go see him that night, and just walking by, and I'm like, hey, Justin, can I get a picture? Nicest guy in the world, but like, you don't know what to say in those moments. The funny thing was we were actually going to have dinner at a nicer restaurant beforehand, and he left us and walked right into McDonald's. And I'm sitting there going, had I known, I'd have been like, dude, we'll bump you up if you need, But it is weird when you see people like that. You kind of freeze. Yeah.
And that's exactly what they don't want.
Yeah.
Right? They want you to just treat them
be
like
who you are. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could have an actual conversation. And Neil Peart was always like that. He hated the way that everyone treated him. Like this mystical creature. And that's why if you ever read any of his books, he talks about how he had the best conversations with complete strangers that didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere,
That's
Kansas,
pretty cool,
at
yeah.
a diner.
That would have been me before we ever did the show.
So you've mentioned Neil Peart a lot, which I'm assuming there's a huge Rush influence. Yeah. Clear this up for me. And
Peart?
Yeah, Peart. No, but my brother, my brother who will be
say, how do you say his last name?
No, my brother who will be plugging on the show later on for his business. Yeah. We call him BK on the show. He is huge Rush fan, and he's anti Iron Maiden, because a lot of it is when you get to a certain age, you don't want to hear new things and all. And all I hear when I hear Iron Maiden is I hear a ton of Rush. I hear Rush, it's the prog aspect of it. Am I wrong? Is there an aspect of, do you hear Rush too?
I actually never thought of hearing, I never thought of
I feel,
Rush.
yeah.
I can tell, I can see what you're saying. A lot of the proggy stuff, keyboards when they started using that. Mm-hmm. But personally, I've never.
But the time changes and whatnot. It just seems to me that there's just this. Yeah, I'm on my own island.
I think a polite way is saying you're wrong.
Yeah, I guess I am.
No, there's a lot of bands that did that.
Because I know Dream Theater did this. Had a similar.
No, you look great.
But even back in the '70s, bands, like King Crimson and ELP and Genesis.
Okay. Yeah,
all those bands were doing it.
Okay.
But then it progressed, and Maiden puts it a little bit into their music here and there. Okay. I think they're, at moments are trying to be Dream Theater, and they're not even coming close.
Yeah.
But
so I just it's one of those things that for some reason I kept hearing, and I'm like, maybe I'm on my own island. So I guess apparently I am. No. I was trying to explain. I was trying to hype it up. I was trying to get another fan, and he's like, nope, not listening.
Yeah. Well, what I think of Rush, so.
Yeah, he hates Rush. And so, everybody keeps going,
but I do
you should do Rush reactions. So he's seen him live and
I've
didn't
seen
like
him live. But Iron Maiden, I'm literally loving. But Rush, no.
Yeah. A lot of people get turned off by the voice.
That's what it is. Yeah. It's his voice. I mean, if they had another lead singer like Tom Petty sang for them, I would listen to them all the time, probably.
Maybe there's some videos on YouTube with voiceless Rush tracks. Just listen to the music.
I could probably listen to the music. I've just never been a fan.
A lot of the older stuff, he does do a lot more screeching and high stuff, but later he doesn't do as much. So maybe it just depends on what you're listening to.
It's like someone who doesn't like Dylan. I love Dylan, but it's some people's for that voice. Yeah. All right, my last question. Your favorite way to decompress after a show? Because a show can be stressful, right? I mean, you're up there, you're having fun.
Not stressful.
Eyes of the Nile groupies.
Right, but you're playing live music and you're getting the crowd pumped up. You guys are pumped up. I mean, you're going to eventually go to bed that night. I mean, is there something you do to relax yourself or?
I have an ice bath waiting in the dressing room.
What's on your rider?
Silent chamber.
I didn't know. I don't know. Are you a Manhattan guy? Are you a beer guy? Do you? I don't know. Do you?
Nothing exciting whatsoever.
Okay.
If I can leave my drum set up for a while and actually talk to people for once, I love that.
Oh, there you go.
Because then I can just finally talk. Because I don't talk a lot before a show because I feel like I'm going to lose my voice.
Right.
I'm always warming up. Till I'm on stage, I'm warming up constantly. So after the show, if I don't have to start tearing down my drums, which is the worst,
right?
I'm just talking to people.
See?
And then tear down drums, put in the car. Answer. Maybe we'll all go out and chill at a diner. That's the best thing, is when we can just chill together after.
That's cool.
Away, not away from everybody, but
meal together, chat about the show.
Yeah,
or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky that we all really enjoy each other's company. So if we have that chance to hang away from instruments and whatever, it's awesome. We're very lucky, I think.
That is very lucky because he knows a ton of bands that just do it for the money, right?
Yeah, and I have another way. It occurred to me. Just to get it out while you guys are here, so you guys can tell me my thought process is wrong yet again. No, this one might be wrong. So it occurred to me this weekend, and I talked about it on the show last week. Exactly. So the new Metallica album came out, 72 Seasons.
Yeah.
And I listened to it, and I love, to preface it, Black Album and below. And I've seen them 15 times. They're amazing live. I don't want to take anything from them on that. But everything after that, I've not been a fan of. And so 72 Seasons, I've listened to it probably about 4 times.
Same.
And it's average at best. And there's nothing there for me. Like, there's nothing there. It doesn't grab me. And so I was thinking about it. So I realized with Metallica in the early days, they were actually writing songs about things and about different like stories and whatnot. And now I think ever since like Saint Anger, it's been personalized. And I was wondering if, Iron Maiden 17 albums in, nothing is personalized from what I can tell. It's all telling stories. And I'm wondering, is that the key to longevity? Like, I know Metallica's doing something right, but they're not grabbing anybody. And I'm just wondering if there's something to be said about once you're rich and happy, you've got nothing to write about. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Or am I crazy?
There's no pain in your life.
Yeah.
I mean, on what is it? We were reaming this album, Number of the Beast and Fear of the Dark. No. Yeah, Fear of the Dark.
Mm-hmm.
They have the song called Apparition. It's very personal. I mean, like the words are so literal. There's no mystical aspect to them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But I always think about that with the albums, that it's like there's nothing that grabs me anymore. There's nothing. It's all like derivative of themselves. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. It's so hard. Like with Metallica, it's weird because I will probably prefer to listen to anything Metallica at all that they've done and enjoy it versus Iron Maiden for some reason, because I don't know if I take it more personally or there's some stuff that I actually just don't really like at all. And I just don't enjoy listening to it. But even like the last Metallica album, like I could listen to any of these songs at any time and it'll be fun. And it's great gym music and it's all aggressive. And it's like, how could you, like these guys, you have to give them all the credit in the world to be writing stuff like that at that age. But in terms of songs being like classic, there's just nothing that I've ever felt in a while that is just a classic song that's just going to stand out in their set list.
Yeah, because I feel a lot of the bands of our generation, I don't know ages, but I'm assuming, they just sort of, all of my bands that I've like grown up loving, their last output has been pretty bad, and it's the I'm rich and I don't have that whatever it is anymore. Whereas like for me, and I know it's different with the Iron Maiden stuff, but like I'm thinking, well, man, they're still at least going. They're still at least putting stuff out. And I can hear there is some derivative aspects, but for me, it seems like at least that's progressing versus stagnant.
Am I on an island for thinking that Bob Rock is personally responsible for ruining Metallica?
You might. No,
I would think the opposite.
Me too.
Really?
I would.
Yeah.
So I'm on an island. That's okay.
No. You're probably not the only
because
one,
there's a lot of people that I would think the same.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it was Black Album and above. Black Album and
I'm okay
Saint
with,
Anger,
but
I think.
I think he just annoyed me watching that documentary. I felt like he was tampering too much.
I thought he was pushing them to be way better than they thought they could ever be.
Open the envelope.
And maybe they needed that at that point because they were just kind of spiraling a little.
And Bob Rock didn't give a crap.
Yeah.
He was just like, try this and stop crying like a little baby.
Yeah.
And he taught him how to sing.
But that's what I don't like. I don't like the singing. I like the old James Hetfield that couldn't sing.
Yeah. He was screaming all the time.
Yeah.
Probably ruining his vocal cords too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he probably wouldn't have been able to last. He'd probably end up like John Bon Jovi. Sorry, Matt. Wow. Sorry.
Or Vince Neil. Oh, we just... Wah, wah, wah.
No more Trooper beer for
Are we
Andy
recording?
from Creative Underground.
We've established on the show, I have a man crush for John Bon Jovi. He can do no wrong. But I will say this.
Is that his actual height?
That's actually, that's complete.
Looks like we're down to 2 plugs tonight.
I know, right? And so, but I can concede, and that's what actually, like, growing up, that's been my favorite band of all time. But yet, the last decade plus, the albums have been awful. He sounds awful. So there's really nothing to like. I don't get excited for a new. I actually don't want Bon Jovi to tour anymore because of the fact that he sounds so awful. I'm afraid. See, so that was my thing. Is I'm afraid to go to tribute bands of bands that like I take personal. Yeah. And at the time when I saw you guys, I didn't take Iron Maiden personal, so that's why I was very receptive. So maybe. I do, and it paid off. It did. So maybe I should give the Bon Jovi tribute band a shot and a shot through the heart. Yeah. But see, I have a feeling that's going to be the schlocky part, though. Like, I have a feeling the guy's going to come out and try to be like 80s John Bon Jovi. And
I have some friends who have seen them and love them.
Oh, okay.
But you'll have to see for yourself.
Okay.
Well, I haven't seen them. I don't know. I'd be interested.
I'll check it out.
I have so Metallica is my number one band. That's my rabbit hole band. So
I got autographed Lars on the wall.
Yeah, awesome. I saw.
Yeah.
Awesome. So just because you touched on such an interesting point with, fans being, of the Black Album before era or Black Album since. Same thing with Iron Maiden when we first got here, talking about, pre-Brave New World, whatever. All right, all that. Now, I can't help but wonder if because of where a listener is at a point in their life, the music will hit them a certain way. So when that band has longevity and continues throughout the decades to release new music, no matter where the band is in their life and how they're writing, that listener always associates them with that initial place they were when they first heard them. So will 72 seasons hit me the same as Injustice for All? It'll never. Yeah. It's not possible. I'm no longer 12 years old. I'm no longer impressionable.
Not in jail anymore.
Right. I'm not in jail anymore.
But if you're new to like Stranger Things, I guess, and you hear that could be your...
That's your watershed moment. Yeah. So for different people, the music will hit you at different times, I think. So for me personally, I've been really enjoying 72 seasons and, hearing a lot of different elements because some,
you can hear the bass on it.
You can hear the bass on it, which is awesome.
That's new.
They learned a long time ago. You see a lot of videos entitled, "Is it still Metallica?" And I would obviously yes, because even in the very obvious songwriting elements, there's things you can hear from Kill 'Em All riffs and things that, and then talking about the lyrics. Well, it's more personal now. Well, it's been for a long time for James, I think, ever since the Black Album. Actually, even the Black
Nothing
Album.
Else Matters.
Yeah,
Nothing Else Matters.
You're right. You're right on that.
Right? A number of things, because he will still talk about, events and ideas and human feelings, but now looking more introspectively, right? So I think that, yes, there's a lot more success, but I would offer that just seeing all the news about James throughout the years, he's also gone through a lot of pain ever since and just recently divorced. Add that to the list. Now he has someone in his life. So not to go down the emotional rabbit hole, but it's just fascinating to think that maybe lyrics have an influence on how it's writing. But then he even said, if you're feeling bad, write a lyric. If you're feeling good, write a riff, which is a great songwriting tool. But that will lend itself to why sometimes the songs will sound a little more derivative because, it sounds very Kill 'Em All, Ride Lightning-ish. Well, it's still Metallica.
I think the riffs are great.
They're great.
The lyrics, I think the problem is, it seems to me he's just saying words.
Well, there's only so much you can,
I know, but it seems like he's just saying words that try to rhyme and without actually telling me, like, a story, I don't know. I'm like
putting effort into it or something.
And I think that's why I'm gravitating towards Maiden because you're getting a movie. Each song is like a movie,
Well, he's a profound storyteller too. Bruce.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I got good news.
Oh, good.
I got call signs for the both of them.
Oh, no. You didn't know you were getting call signs. So if you were in
I feel honored.
If you were in Top Gun, your call sign would be
Thinker.
Call sign Thinker.
Nice.
And Gesture.
Yeah, baby.
Jester or gesture?
Gesture.
He does a lot of hand gestures.
I'm a New Yorker. I talk with my hands.
Yeah, he's a big gesture guy. I've been watching. Everything is a gesture.
Yeah.
Like he could be like, "Where's the bathroom?" Like.
We're here with call sign Thinker and Gesture on the show.
I'm glad it's not overthinker. It's just Thinker.
Wait, it's not call sign Cerebral.
No. It's because he puts a lot of. I can see his replies are very like gauged. They're not.
I'm just trying to not swear.
Like I'm a big me. I'm one of those guys that like pops off at the mouth. Like I say the wrong thing a lot of the times. I say things I shouldn't. I like to bosses, to employ, whatever. Like I'm just like, whoop, blah, 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 right? And it
There's
comes
an
out.
HR file. It's quite huge.
Right? You look like you gauge your replies carefully. Like you don't spout out just information.
Okay, I'll take it.
I agree.
Does Andy have a call sign?
I call signed him that night. I wasn't planning. I had to. There's a little effort that goes into
Like
this.
call sign tea time. The British accent. No.
Oh, I think, what is he, a golfer?
No, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything British at the moment. That was the first thing that came out.
Ground zero or
Crumpet.
Oh yeah,
ground.
He can
what
be
was it?
crumpet.
Ground,
Ground hum. Yeah.
Ground hum.
ground,
Yeah.
ground, what?
Ground loop.
ground
Ground
loop,
loop.
ground loop. That's it.
Ground loop is
Folks,
perfect.
we had a ground looping issue prior to the show, so look it up, folks. I can't describe everything.
You can call
to
me.
guys.
You can call me on my cell phone if you need more information
Yes.
on ground loops. I got them all.
Oh, Andy.
Well, I don't have a final question. I know you were asking if we had any final questions. I just had a final comment, and this is really for anyone that's listening that's not seen Eyes of the Nile. As someone seeing you guys for the first time, when we went, and saw these guys at the Tally Ho, obviously it was all of our first time. I've listened to Maiden for years. You've been listening for a while. Your wife came along too, and she didn't know
Anything.
Iron Maiden
She
at
knows
all.
Wasted Years.
And we had, without doubt, the best night. We had so much fun.
Drinks were
And
had.
I go see, we both go see a lot of shows. That was the most fun I've had at a show in years. It was
you
an
so much.
absolutely stupendous night.
Tell them about your son hated you for going because isn't that
Oh, yeah. So this is actually kind of funny.
About that.
His son was in a hockey tournament in another state, and so I had tickets already, and the whole time I'm like, Andy, we're going, and he was like, I don't know. He goes, the problem is if my son, wins his game, then he's going to go in the playoffs, and that's going to continue. And I'm on the show here. I'm like, the 12-year-old son, I'm like, I hope he loses his game so Andy can go to see Eyes of the Nile with me. And the worst is he's listening to the show like as they're driving back from
With
like
my son in the car, already heartbroken that he lost the tournament.
Oh no.
and it's like Matt cursed my team and wanted me to lose so we could go see you.
And now he's going to be even more heartbroken because he wanted to be on the show tonight, and I told him he couldn't come because there's already too many people going to be in the studio. So I mean,
Jeez, poor
yeah,
guy.
now that's just
He
adding
hates
salt
us.
in the wounds.
And you. He hates us.
Yeah, no,
And
he
you.
doesn't hate you. He hates Matt. You're good.
He really hates me.
No, but just to finish that thought off, for anyone that's not seen you guys before, and I don't know if you have any upcoming shows you want to plug, but thank you. It was an absolutely tremendous night. We all had an absolutely spectacular time.
Thank you.
Eh.
That means a lot. Thank you.
I have the dates if you guys want me to read them. Or
Sure, let's do it.
Okay, so they'll be at the State Theater, and I believe that's in Falls Church, Virginia.
Before that one, though.
Oh,
There's one.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Sorry, are we doing
sorry.
local? Or are we
I was doing local, but it doesn't matter. We're worldwide.
yeah.
We're big in Japan.
Okay. Well, we'll be in Tokyo at the Budokan.
There you go.
Well, if anyone is listening from the Pittsburgh area, we're at the Craft House Stage and Grill on June 17th. And we've only been at the Hard Rock Cafe there. And we've been asked to come back to Pittsburgh many times. And this is a great venue. So this should
Awesome.
be a biggie. But
Nice.
locally, go ahead.
Locally, they'll be at the State Theater in Falls Church, Virginia on June 30th, which it's close to us. We might have to hit that one, but the one that we're definitely, you can see Subfacts there at the Tally Ho,
Press
August
passes.
25th. We will definitely be there. And so
We're doing press passes.
you're trying to get press passes out of them? Way to go.
Do we get them out of them, or they're like?
Isn't this good enough?
I
Right
think
here?
I was going to say, I think it comes out of their pocket.
Oh, it does?
No,
Oh, never mind.
we'll buy tickets.
Oh no! Okay, of course we're buying tickets. I thought what I'm saying, like a press pass, gets you like on stage and like, yeah, that's what I
Stage.
meant.
On stage.
we want to.
Like backstage, on stage.
There's no backstage.
There's
This
no
is as backstage as
is
we're
up
going
that
to get.
staircase.
Yeah, it really is. Like you literally have to walk outside to go look like you're going
Well, can I
backstage.
be a bouncer then or something?
Yes.
Awesome.
Actually, they have bouncers.
Yeah.
We'll find something for you.
Okay,
to do.
good.
I'm telling you, dueling Eddies. I think because I think in the 2020, I think in this Future Past tour, the rumor is they could have the Somewhere in Time.
That would
Eddie
be incredible.
versus
if
the
you can make
Senjutsu
some
Eddie.
costumes up, we can talk about it. We'll choreograph the whole damn thing.
We'll figure the whole thing out. We'll start fencing each other. It'll be
Yes.
great.
That would be so. Fantastic.
Instead of like swords, we'll have like baguettes or something.
I volunteer dying, so.
Yeah, we definitely have to have a head cut off for sure.
He'll do it. So anyway, Tally-Ho, August 25th, you will see Eyes of the Nile and Subfacts because we will all be there. And June 30th at the State Theater in Falls Church, Virginia. And what was the other date in Pittsburgh?
June 17th.
Boom. You definitely don't want to miss them. They are fantastic. You've heard it here.
Obviously quality dudes.
Absolutely, 100%. And we did get mailbag, but I think we're going to punt the mailbag this week because of the fact that I think we've already kind of run long.
Okay.
So those who put the mail in, we will definitely get it next week. And if you need to submit mail, feel free to submit mail at subfactspodcast@gmail.com. And now we have, what's funny is we don't have to do plugs anymore because Andy is here and Ben from KStreetPhotographyDC.com is here.
All right.
So we'll see what they're up to.
All right. Go nuts.
Andy.
Yes, sir.
So I hear all music and tech support for Subfacts is brought to you by
You would be correct, sir.
Yes.
I can't do it quite like Mooney though. Mooney does.
Do you want to do Andy's plug? And
yeah, come on.
By the way,
I love the way he does it. He's got the voice. I don't have the voice.
But everything's good with Creative Underground.
Everything's great. It's
rocking and rolling.
March was our busiest month we've ever had since we opened the studio. We've been inundated with work in the studio as well as out in the field. You know, we do a lot of work out in the field doing video events, and we've had a lot of hockey events. We did the CBHL playoffs in March. We just did the Hockey Night in Nova All-Star Game. Ben was there doing
synergy
there too. We had some synergy there. So, I mean, it's been a spectacular month. Creative Underground has been blowing up thanks to Subfacts.
Awesome. I am so waiting for the knock on the door. Like, I heard you on Subfacts.
Oh my God.
You did. Yeah, you did the YouTube, but I want to hear.
I want to walk out of the house and be like, Mr. Mooney, you're like, and get like pressed.
Yeah. It'll happen. We're going to blow. In Japan, if you were in Japan right now,
oh my God,
you'd be seen.
And
you're also bigger than everybody in Japan.
Right, that's true.
So you'd be seen no matter what. And
I'd be disappearing with,
Yeah.
Two of us are going to be in Japan in October.
Nice.
Yeah. So if there's anything we can do.
Boom.
Sweet.
T-shirt.
Are you going to play there?
Visiting.
Just visiting.
Jason and I. Jason's definitely going. I'm planning it, but should be there.
Sweet.
So what we'll do is when we go see you on August 25th at the Tally-Ho, we'll bring you some Subfacts shirts.
We'll have a shirt for you.
When you get to Japan, rock them, and you'll get everything will be carte blanche in Japan.
Totally.
They love us.
Amazing.
Awesome.
Free sushi.
Awesome.
I love it.
There's a place called Soapland. Just
oh my God.
Tell him you know Mooney.
Please go and tell me.
Soapland.
He's got a Asian fetish.
It's a little more than that.
And he's happily married to a beautiful Vietnamese woman, but he's like Godzilla.
I'm going to Vietnam too.
Oh, really?
That's awesome. Yeah. My doctor's Vietnamese. My haircut person is Korean. Like anything in my favorite bartenders, like everything in my life.
Asians rule.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I feel.
Everything in his world is Asian, so that's why we're big in Japan.
Awesome.
Huge.
I miss Okinawa. I lived in Okinawa for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
I only know it from Karate Kid 2. And so,
Same thing. That's what he was doing.
But it was called, what did he, like, didn't it have, like, Okinawa, when he was pointing to it,
goes, Okinawa here. Japan here.
No, he goes, you see that, everything else in that little dot?
Yeah.
That's Okinawa.
I just know they screw over the village people.
Yeah, like Sato, man.
Yeah, Sato.
Evil dude.
Yes.
Cobra Kai is awesome, though.
Love it.
I know, it's six or something season.
Final season, I think, too.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But for years, I was telling him that Daniel was the bad guy, and he didn't want to believe me until now.
Yeah, and Cobra Kai basically brought that out. I didn't even know. I was,
Yeah, Johnny somehow ends up looking like a good guy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
So, do you want to do the official Andy plug?
I am. All music, all tech support for Subfacts is provided by our friend Andy at Creative Underground. He runs a state-of-the-art production studio in our hometown of Leesburg, Virginia. But that's not where it ends, folks. He told you he was huge in March, and it's only getting better. He does custom music creation. He does video live stream events. He does youth sports, corporate events, weddings, concerts, pro karaoke. I'm telling you, book this guy now. All you got to do is go to
www.creativeunderground.co, not .com.
Boom.
My favorite part of the show. So then up next is Big Ben from KStreetPhotographyDC.com. If it weren't for Big Ben, we would not have these guests here tonight. So thank you, Big Ben. You're a man who knows people.
Thank you for coming out. Fern, good to see you again.
I heard you know Metallica as well next week.
Not yet.
Oh, okay, just throwing it out there. But how you do it? Like I see your Facebook stuff. You're all over the place. The cherry blossoms. You're everywhere.
Yep.
I don't think there's a person more everywhere than you.
Well, I don't know about all that, but yeah, definitely everything's going well. Big projects, traveling hopefully to San Antonio soon.
Wow.
Did a big project last year with the Fairfax Economic Development Association.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to make sure people hear you.
So
and still droning like a champ.
Droning, newspaper work, yep. All kind of stuff.
Awesome. And I know you were, I think BK was going to reach out to you at some point.
BK has reached out.
Okay, boom. More synergy from the show.
We're going to be doing drones and tour buses.
Awesome. So if you guys need some drone photography.
We could use you at a show.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Sure. Tally-ho's fine.
Yeah.
Anything past Reston, this way.
Yeah, because, we'll talk.
Yeah.
Subfacts Synergy, what up?
Synergy at its finest, dude.
We're people that bridge gaps. That's what I'm saying.
Synergy, man.
Synergy.
But that was Ben, dude. Best color man in the league, man.
They don't call him the best color man for nothing. Awesome. Ben, well, I always say, when you think of photography, you think of Ben. That's pretty much all one can say.
That's all I think about.
You know, he does everything except for weddings and bar mitzvahs. We're still working on the other ones.
We're still working on that.
I
Maybe we'll break
think you should
that
knock
barrier.
out some weddings and bar mitzvahs.
I'm thinking about doing second shooter.
I don't know what that means, but awesome.
Somebody that stays in the cut and takes pictures of the family.
Second, nobody can hear second shooter. I get scared.
Second shooter is like taking pictures of grandma watching a daughter coming down, our daughter and grandchild coming down the aisle, dancing and stuff like that. Where the first shooter focuses on the couple.
Yeah.
I creep around.
Like was that considered B-roll stuff? Or is
Yeah.
that a completely different term?
Kinda. That's more video, but second shooter, I mean, you're definitely getting more black and white type photos.
Just for the record, we can't name the show Second Shooter because might be a little suspect. Maybe it's like an assistant. An assistant might help. And so, I've got a bomb expert coming in later on. Okay. So, up next, the guy who's not here, my brother BK, who I guess didn't hear Rush in Iron Maiden, but and he's rightfully so.
Absolutely, we need to give BK a plug because, I just had to get the pollen off my car, so I went to one of those little teeny car washes things at the gas station, and I was like, man, I really need to spend the money because Big Dog Auto Detailing does amazing work, folks. He makes your car look like new no matter what it is. Trucks, trailers, scooter, anything you want to get clean, bring to him, please. He's the best in the business. 571-233-8716. And by the way, he is booking up fast. You need to call him and tell him Subfacts sent you.
Boom. He does tour buses too.
Tour buses.
You guys need
Where is this? I need to go.
He actually comes to your house.
Yeah.
He's mobile.
He's mobile,
Dead
yeah.
serious. It's the best thing in the world.
And, he does the ceramic job that'll, my brother just bought a Tesla, did a ceramic, and it looks amazing.
The only problem is if you're related to him, he did a ceramic job on my Jeep. Everything's great. But everybody looks at me and they're like, he's got to hate you because you're I don't wash it all the time. And it's how is it that your brother details big time cars and stuff and you're driving a dirt mobile? I'm like,
Wow.
It happens.
Is what it is.
got to get that guy.
Yeah.
And photography. This is great.
Absolutely. Awesome. So Big Dog Auto Detailing, 571-233-8716. Tell them Subfacts sent you. And if you want to learn more about us and pick up our merch,
yes,
go to subfactspodcast.com. Make sure you click on the little hamburger.
Yep.
Get the merch. Beach season's coming
out. It is selling out.
Beach season is coming up. I spent all the year last year hyping the beach towels. I love them. I'm not going to lie. I use them at the pool. It's got our faces on it. Who doesn't want to lay on our faces? And so we have posters.
Wow. Okay.
You know, it's awesome. Actually, it's pretty sad. I was going to the pool and just leaving our towels out. So.
Oh, that's perfect.
Free promotion. And so, but no, you can
at
get,
the end of the day.
You can get T-shirts, coffee mugs, throw pillows, blankets.
We got it all.
I want to see the person who buys the Subfacts blanket. That's what I like. You could sleep with Mooney and I if you have the Subfacts blanket.
Let's not offer that out.
In Japan, we're big.
In Japan. That deal applies to.
What if the band
pack a blanket?
There you go. There you go. What if the band Love Bites is like, oh, I'm fighting over the Mooney blanket?
Of course, I'm in.
I'm just
saying. I'll buy them all. I'll buy them 2 Love blankets each.
They might want the Mooney blanket. So boom, it's gonna happen. So anyway, if you want to be a part of our show, write in at subfactspodcast@gmail.com. And we're everywhere. We're on YouTube, Facebook,
omnipresent.
Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. But YouTube is what we really want to hype up because we need. I
want the clicks.
Yes, we need the
subscribers.
Clicks. And so,
we're going to get to 1,000 because they're going to tell it to some of their fans that they were on the Subfacts.
Synergy, folks. Synergy.
And once that hits, they're going to get clicks.
Boom.
We're going to get, and you know what? Everybody wins.
One big.
Send us the video. We'll put it on our YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
See?
One big love fest.
Everybody wins, dude.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to be dropping it at 11:58. And the funny thing is, he has no idea why.
I know. 2 minutes to midnight.
Oh, look at you! You did your homework. You did your homework, sir. Okay, cool. 11. Now he's like, why is it 2 minutes to midnight? No. So 11:58 on Friday nights, we will be dropping the show. And I think I've said it all. I think we've done.
We did.
We said it all.
Thank
you very much, Eyes of the Nile, for being here. And
yes.
Really appreciate it.
Can't wait to see you guys August 25th at the Tally Ho.
Absolutely.
Can't wait.
Boom. Okay. Well, let's see everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
Later.